Hello everybody, Ignatius L. Jackson CPA here. I wanted to just update everybody on an important update that came out this morning, a little over an hour ago now, from the Treasury Secretary announced in the White House. They announced that they will go ahead and extend the tax filing deadline that for for C corporations and individual tax returns that are due on April 15th. Those deadlines will be extended so that you don't have to worry about filing your returns or filing an extension by April 15th. So we've talked over the last couple of days about the payment extension. This is now a filing extension as well. So both dates have now been moved to July 15th. So if you believe that you owe money, ultimately the moral of the story is if you believe you owe money on your taxes, you do not have to worry about filing those taxes and getting the payment made by by April 15th. You have an extra 90 days until July 15th to make the payment and file the tax returns. That said, if you expect a refund, then we definitely still encourage you to work with your tax preparer or to go to TurboTax or whatever provider you usually use to file your return. And file your return. The IRS is still processing returns and refunds, so you will get a refund on your return if you are owed a refund. Okay, so still go ahead and process your returns if you are owed a refund. I will just kind of recap some of the things regarding the tax payments. The tax payment deadline, like I said, is extended until July 15th, which means there's no penalties or interest on the late payment of the penalty under the typical deadlines that are established. So you don't have to worry about any penalties or interest. You do still owe the money, obviously, but you won't have to pay any penalties or interest. It's only up to $1 million for individual taxpayers and $10 million for C corporations, okay? So if you owe any more than that, you want to still pay as much as possible over that limit, whatever's over that limit, by April 15th to avoid penalties and interest. If you don't, you will still accrue penalties and interest on anything over $1 million for individual taxpayers and anything over $10 million for C corporations. And that $1 million threshold is whether you file single or married filing jointly. So it doesn't matter your filing status, it's straight $1 million, okay? So it includes income tax payments and estimated tax payments. So what that means is your income tax payments that are normally due by April 15th for the previous year of 2019, and it also includes estimated tax payments that are due by April 15th for the first quarter of 2020. Okay, so both of those payments can be deferred. It does include, excuse me one second, payroll tax payments and filings still need to be made by their original due date. So if you have a business and you have employees and you owe payroll taxes, make sure those are still getting done. The penalties are insane for payroll tax payments that are late and late filing of payroll tax forms. So please do make sure you still get those completed on time. Those are very important. It does not change existing payment arrangements or past due amounts from prior years. So if you have any tax debts or anything out there, those will still continue to accrue interest during this time period. If you believe you are owed a refund, we still recommend that you file your taxes again. So don't wait to file your taxes if you're owed a refund. It is also unclear whether they will still be taking refund checks and applying it to past due student loan payments. So if you have a student loan payment that's past due, it very well may be that they could still take your refund check from that. There's been no clarity on whether or not there's a temporary stay on doing that process. So that is still a possibility. And also, I haven't really talked about this much, but state income taxes. So a lot of states have not yet taken any action on this. So given that it's only came out over the last couple of days, they're still probably working through their own legislation and figuring out what they can do. More than likely though, because many states rely on the federal tax return as the starting point for the state income tax amount, chances are pretty much everybody will have to go and extend the filing deadline and the payment deadline to confer with the federal government. So, but keep in touch in terms of checking on your state to see whether the state has went ahead and extended that deadline or not. Again, not all states have taken any action yet. California, I know, has, and there's a couple others that have, but Arizona is one that has not taken any action yet. And so I'm waiting to hear back on that, and I'll definitely update you guys once we understand what the various states are doing. There's also a resource link that I'll post on this post that will give you access to a listing from the AICPA. It's the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants. They're keeping a log of what all the states have done, and they update it, I believe, daily. So if you check that periodically, you'll kind of know what your state is doing. But as of now, the states are still, some states still have the same deadline. There has been some other legislation that has passed related to paid sick leave and small business disaster loans. We're still reviewing that and getting our hands around that. Definitely we'll do another video to go through those requirements with you guys. As I know a lot of my business owners, this could be beneficial to you. And so we will definitely keep you in touch on that. Those policies do relate to not only if they're sick, but also if they just have to stay home to take care of their kids due to school closures. So there's definitely some great things there. I will remind you though, if you currently have a sick leave policy, or if you're under the state mandated policy in Arizona where you have to basically give people up to 24 hours of paid sick leave, you do still have to kind of honor that. So make sure that we're not, that you're still honoring that. If you are not aware about that, please reach out. I can kind of let you know what that entails. But we do want to still make sure we're honoring the paid sick leave. That may be mandated by your particular state, especially here in Arizona. So those are the updates that I have for you today as of now. As things progress and as things continue, we'll definitely keep you updated. Again, tax filing deadline has been extended to July 15th. Tax payment deadline is also extended to July 15th. Check with your state to see if the state has extended it. We are obviously still working. We're still doing things as much as we can. And so until we've taken measures to protect ourselves, obviously, but just bear with us if you've been reaching out. We are not ignoring you. We are just working through things as quickly as we can, given our kind of staffing issues and things of that nature as well. So definitely stay in touch. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment, shoot us an email, or give us a call, and we will get back to you as soon as we can. Hope everybody has a good day. Thanks. Bye.